Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to discuss a very important topic, and it's about megapixels. So stay tuned till the end of this video and you will get to know how many megapixels do you really need and what are other factors that can really help you to understand how you can buy a new camera and which camera do you need. So in today's market we hear a lot about megapixels. There are so many different mobile manufacturers who have huge megapixels count, like more than 100 megapixels. There are cameras who have huge megapixel count. So does this really matter, or are there any other factors which are going to affect the decision you are going to make? So first thing first, let's discuss about what happens on the social media once you upload your picture. And on Facebook, what happens if you upload a picture which is greater than 2048 pixel, the greatest dimension or the longest dimension of that photo is 2048 or higher. So Facebook will trim it down to 2048. And if it is smaller, Facebook is not going to do anything about it. And as far as the cover photos are concerned, so it goes down really down to 851 to 315 pixels. So these are the dimensions. Now what happens on Instagram once we upload our photo? And once we upload our picture on Instagram, it even does worse. It takes down the greatest dimension or the longest dimension and trim it down to 1080. So even worse. And whatever picture you put up there, so this is what going to happen to it. And then you have the aspect ratio and everything. So my question is, do we really need so many megapixels? Okay, let's look at it from another angle. So this is the megapixel count and what are the file sizes in pixels or the print sizes. So if you see here, if you have a camera which has 2 megapixel sensor, so for Instagram you are good to go. You have a picture which has 1600 by 1200 pixels, and Instagram is going to trim it down to 1080, and 1600 will go down to 1080. And if you keep this very aspect ratio, so does your 1200 will also be trimmed down with the same ratio. And now 3 megapixel is enough for a Facebook picture, because you are going to get one dimension which is exactly the match of what Facebook is going to do with it. So 2048. But if you have more megapixels, what is the advantage of having more megapixels? And if you are a social media person, so it means megapixels does not matter a lot. What you have to do is to do the post-processing properly and sharpen the image as you go along on the post-processing software, rather than doing it with that social media platform. Or you can trim it down to the dimension or the maximum dimension of the social media platform, and then you can sharpen the image. So what happens when we have more megapixels? So if we have more megapixels, we have the ability to crop down our image and crop down to a real close look. Like you have so many distracting elements in some of the pictures, then you want to really crop it down and just bring it down to the subject. So the best thing about megapixels is you are going to crop it down, and still you will have enough image quality that you can upload somewhere, or maybe you can put it in the printing machine and get a very high resolution print. So this is the advantage of having more megapixels. And then second thing is that when you print a higher megapixel picture, so the quality of that print will be way too superior than what we have in smaller megapixel sensors. So what really does matter for a beginner? So these are the things which really matter, that you should have the passion for photography and you should have the time to spend on photography. Like if you're new to the photography, you might spend hours of a day to practice it and get to know your camera. and then you should have the very good understanding of light, how light behaves, what are the different properties of light. And then there's manual mode, and as soon as you get off the auto mode, and I have a video on that, how you can get off the auto mode, and the link is in the description, and you get to know the retouching, because in modern days it's not just about photos, it's about how you retouch that photo, how you do the composites, and how you can just turn it into something which is quite striking and which is quite contrasty. So this is how it works. But there is one more thing which I want to discuss here, because a lot of mobile phone users, they might think, okay, megapixels does not matter, and still we have cameras in our mobile phone, it's fine, we go out and do our photography and everything with mobile phone. But what is the disadvantage of having a mobile phone photography and a full frame photography? How does it compare to that? So a full frame photographer or a full frame camera has some advantages which cannot be even matched by the crop sensor, and let alone the mobile phone sensors. They are way too smaller as compared to full frame camera sensors. So what happens when the size of a sensor is bigger than the normal size? It is going to affect the ISO performance, or the noise, or the or resistance to noise. Once the size of the sensor is bigger, the size of the noise compared to the pixel size of that sensor becomes quite insignificant, and the effect of that noise can easily be mitigated inside your camera. And then you have bigger sensor size, it means more dynamic range. So these are few of the advantages of full frame cameras. So the answer to your question is, if you're a social media person, megapixels will not matter a lot for you. But if you are a print person, then megapixels do become way too important. Thank you very much for watching, and do subscribe to my channel, hit like and share with others. And this is how we share the knowledge. Thank you.